Here we go. This sounds a lot better, doesn't it? So then, once again, well, it's great to see you up front there. You have come to hear Mr. Rutgers, yes? Okay, specifically for him. Wonderful. He, I think, has got something very good to offer to all of you, because who wouldn't like to know which way we are heading in the years to come, which opportunities are offered by the fitness market, which potentials, which opportunities. It's not something he is simply giving you off the cuff. He's got a study here based on which he would like to develop 8 points telling you where to go in the future. Well, here from Europe Active, Hermann Rutgers.
Hello. Good afternoon. German is not my native language, but I hope you do understand me nevertheless. My slides are in English anyway, but I guess this is not a problem, especially for the young people. They all understand English anyway. I have seen more years in this industry than all of these youngsters here together. I started back in '94 in the fitness sector with an equipment manufacturer, and over the past 25 years, this industry has not only substantially grown, but it has developed in quite a different way than we thought back in '94. And this is why this image here is actually wrong. Why is it wrong? Well, because this road is a straight one, but in life, nothing is really straight. It is a long and winding road, life, and you do not always make progress. You also step back at times, and this is exactly what the future of our industry looks like. And there's nobody in this room or in this hall out there who knows exactly where we're headed. But due to what has developed over the past few years and the trends there, and when you look at demography, you might say it's going to be working that way or moving that way, and then you can actually adjust your corporate strategy and adapt your own life to it. I will use the next 28 minutes to talk about the market and then actually explain 8 trends that are very important for us and are also important for the development of the EMS market. And please, if you have any questions, ask them. As the presenter said, we do a study of the fitness market in Europe, in all of the countries, and the market in 2016 against 2015 has developed greatly, and fitness is not only key, where we're finally past the 10 million threshold. We've got 10 million fitness club members. All of Europe, for instance, has a number of 15%. So fitness is the #1 sport today, bigger than volleyball, than handball, than football. No single sport actually has as many fellows as fitness. In Europe last year, we had 56.4 million fitness club members. This was an increase of 4.4%. So this is higher than the increase in inflation rates. What's important is that the volume of the market has grown more than the price. This means... Does this work? No, this doesn't work. The growth in low-cost MakeFit, FitX, and outfits the like was big, and this brought down the average price. But football is smaller, and of course we exclude Ronaldo's salary or Mourinho's salary. This is out of the factory. But if we actually sum up the Federal League and the FC Cologne singlets and the T-shirts or the Bayern München mugs, all of the merchandising, then this adds up to 20 or 19 billion. So the fitness market in Europe is bigger than the football market, you have to say. And when we talk to Brussels politicians, we always tell them we're bigger than football as a contributor to the European economy. We have 54,000 facilities and 500,000 employees working at these fitness clubs. It's a huge market. And all of the segments benefited because they grew, both low budget, medium price, and high priced clubs. And the top 30 brands include McFit with 1.5 million members last year in 5 countries. And when you look at the top 30 companies and add them all up, then you have 23% of all of the fitness club members. So this means the market is still highly fragmented. Although the chains are big, they're not big enough to dominate the market. Most clubs are boutiques, micro clubs, fitness clubs, and most of them are owner-run, owner-operated. And fitness is hot. It's a hot ticket. So banks, investors are highly interested in our industry, and they invest a lot of money in our companies. Last year in England, there was one IPO of the Gym Group. In the Netherlands, Basic Fit is active and it went IPO, so it is listed on the stock exchange now. And Technogym, an equipment manufacturer, made an IPO in Italy. So this means people are now investing in fitness. This benefits all entrepreneurs because obviously there's confidence in our industry, because our industry contributes to health conscience in the world. And I will talk about this a little later. Then these countries here, as you can see, Germany and the UK are by far the biggest markets. Why? Because they have most inhabitants. 80 million inhabitants in Germany plus the UK. Logically, they're the 2 biggest markets. They're followed by France with almost 3 billion turnover in fitness, followed by Italy and Spain. And then we've got 5 countries that also among the top 10, the Netherlands with 1.3 billion turnover, Russia, Turkey, Poland, and Switzerland. So this is the top 10. And summed up, the first 5 account for 2/3 of the whole market. So if you want to sell equipment, if you serve these 5 countries, then you actually control 2/3 of the market. The rest of this market amounts to 4.2 billion and 16%. This brings me to my 8 trends. And I have no crystal ball, but these trends are the results of my past experience. Macroeconomic and social, I will talk about the trends there and why they're so important for our industry. Then mergers and acquisitions, M&A, this is the second trend. Then discount fitness, this is trend number 3. Boutique studios, digital pay-as-you-go, functional fitness, and the outsiders. And I will actually separately walk you through each of the 8 trends. Let's talk about macroeconomic trends. Inactivity, sedentary lifestyles are costing us 60 billion a year worldwide in terms of productivity losses, in terms of absenteeism, in terms of healthcare costs. In Germany, in Europe, we don't have a health ministry, but a sickness ministry, because the cost for health and sickness account for 95% of the spendings, doctors, and only 5% is invested in prevention. Our industry is part of the prevention segment. We can make sure that people don't fall ill, stay healthier, and don't end up at hospitals so early. There are many macroeconomic developments that are of interest for our industry. First of all, there is many single households. Stockholm in Sweden shows that 70% of all households are single households, both young and old. The people are often lonesome, feel alone. Where do you think they go? To the beer garden or to the fitness club? where they meet other people. So this is an important trend for us that really benefits our industry. Then people are growing older. Whether they grow old healthily depends on the nutrition, on these people's diet, and whether their level of exercise. But the trend is important. They grow older, and the retirement age is increasing. I come from the Netherlands, and you have to work until you're age 67. In Germany, it's 65. But the age is going up because we're living longer and longer, and we cannot bear the pension costs with the economy. Urbanization is an important trend. More and more people live in cities, but this is not only happening in Asia and in Africa, this is also happening in Europe. Rural areas attract fewer and fewer people. More and more people want to live in cities, which is important for fitness. I always say the bigger the city and the more important the urbanization, the bigger the fitness sector. Health insurers like Barma or AXA in France subsidize fitness increasingly and tell both their customers and their employees, we actually subsidize fitness. This is also happening in Germany. This is an important development for our industry. Then employers. Employers, of course, want to have healthy employees, and this is why employers increasingly subsidize fitness club memberships, also in Germany. Then prevention. Local authorities, governments, this is also benefiting our industry. Then people have more leisure time. In France, you have a 35-hour working week. What do we do with the rest of the time? Fitness wouldn't be a bad idea, would it? Then hedonism. We want to look good. I want to actually develop my six-pack. This is part and parcel of hedonism, and this is also positive for our industry. Individualism. When I do sports, when I play football, I require 25 players. I need a referee. I need 2 sideline referees. I need a huge pitch as big as this room, and I only use it for 90 minutes. This room can be filled 7 days a week, 24 hours around the clock, and actually do personal fitness and actually use money a lot better. Then we've got negative trends as well. There is lower economic growth than over past years, and we face a lot of geopolitical instability. There are many problems in the world, so people feel insecure and they don't feel like spending too much. So this is the 2 negative developments. Let's talk about trend number 2, M&A, mergers and acquisitions. This chart is pretty crowded, but there are many companies that went public. Companies are consolidating. They're taking over each other, and this is why we see a lot of consolidation, lots of mergers. For Germany, for instance, we can see Migros bought Enjoy in Germany. This is now the group number 5, 350 million turnover. It's the Migros Enjoy Group, and as I said before, Basic Fit did an IPO. It now actually is worth 1 billion euros at the stock exchange. So we're not talking about muscle studios any longer. No, we're talking about mega businesses. This is the guy, for instance, who in Scandinavia merged Alexia, Sats, and Fresh Fitness, 200 clubs. He's really dominant now. And he holds a very, very important share of the market. In the UK, Pure Gym is a low-budget chain, and they bought LA Fitness clubs. So the bigger chains are getting bigger, and they're buying up each other. This is boutiques. One, Rebel in London. This is individuals, entrepreneurs, and they said, well, I sell shares in this company, and they did some crowd fundraising to open up this new club. And it was basically paid by a group of people without the involvement of a bank. This is a chain which can be compared to EMS studios. It costs about 100,000 euros to open up such a studio, and there are roughly 80 people, all entrepreneurs, who've opened up the Fit 20 with friends and family and people interested. And these friends pay for it. The third trend, discount fitness. FitX, you all know it in Germany. This is the big competitor for McFit, highly successful. This is the fastest growing outfit in Germany. It actually posted 200% of growth last year. Basic Fit only grew by 20%. Now 1.2 million members in 5 countries. Budget clubs in low-cost clubs accounts for a third of the market now in many countries. McFit established High Five in the previous year. Membership fee is €9.95. This is how they started out. For 10 euros, I can actually exercise every single day of the week. Then cyber training was established in Berlin last year, with a big showroom. And now we've got the first women's fitness club, and based on low budget. Again, boutique. This is One Rebel again, not very big, but with lots of PT. And this is why we call them boutiques. 400 square meters, not very big, but high intensity training. I talked about crowdfunding in the US. On Wednesday, we had a congress. Mr. Lehner was there too. You were there. 21% of the market in the United States are now accounted for by boutique clubs. And EMS clubs are also a type of boutique clubs. So more and more studios, people are attended there personally. And this is what our trainees, our customers want. And they're also prepared to pay more for it than for McFit. And there are many people who are McFit members and also members in a boutique studio. 30% of the fitness followers have a dual membership in the surroundings where they work and then back home where they live. Barry's Bootcamp, Orange Theory, EMS, a big success here in Germany. And now EMS is also making inroads in other countries. When you look at this hall, this is just EMS, a whole hall. It's incredible how fast this trend has grown. This is a trend that has now successfully become established in Spain, in the UK, in the Netherlands. Other countries are now starting to embrace EMS and to understand what a huge market this is. Soul Cycle, this is just spinning. They only do spinning with great music, with great trainers, in a great atmosphere, great lighting, first rate, and people pay $30 per hour just to do some spinning. So this is really a key trend in this market. John Reed, you probably know this. This is the new McFit concept, the slightly higher price, 30 euros per month, but with a live DJ. It looks like a nightclub. As you can see, a whole different atmosphere. This is another visual from a club in Salzburg, where they now have 7 clubs called John Reed. This is a fancy name, and it looks cool. The person doesn't exist. Let's talk about digital now, the next trend. Digital disruption, as the Englishman put it so nicely. You all know Uber. They don't have a single car, and they operate millions of taxis worldwide, or Airbnb. This is the biggest hotel chain, and they don't own a single hotel room. But there are millions of people renting their homes for Airbnb. Alibaba in China or Netflix. This is the biggest cinema chain in the world, but they don't have an own movie building. What does this mean for fitness? Well, I believe that fitness will see a transformation. McFit has initiated Cyberobics. Who knows Cyberobics here in the room? They have struck a deal with Sky TV, and you can buy a few exercises for a few euros. So this is an interesting concept. Of course, the wearables. In the United States, you've got the Sports Medicine College, and they do research. And this year, they did a survey among fitness professionals, and the wearables are really top. Who else has a wearable? Who owns wearables? Who's wearing a wearable right now? Not that many of you, but it's gonna come. This is getting more important. The millennials want to know everything, and they want to measure everything, and you want to control everything, and this is why you need wearables. Then fitness apps. Freeletics, German company, very successful with fitness messages sent to your smartphone. You don't need a fitness club for that. You can do your own exercises and control yourself. Runtastic, for instance. I can use the Runtastic app. I can check my pulse rate, my heart frequency. Then Nike and Training Club. In the US, there are some small clubs that only have treadmills, and where the people just go to run. And this is actually promoted by Nike because they want to sell more shoes. And this is why they sponsor the clubs with treadmills, because for a treadmill you need running shoes. So this is an important development. Then Fitness First developed the Custom Fit app, where you can see your own fitness. So what is the impact on traditional fitness clubs? Well, the traditional fitness clubs have to and should adapt to these trends in order to survive. If they don't adjust their strategy, they will be overtaken by these concepts. Then pay-as-you-go. There are pay-as-you-gym outfits. So you buy a card and you upload £100, and with this you can actually go training in various clubs connected to this concept. In the US, you've got the Class Pass, and the Gym Pass is available for Europe now, initiated in Brazil. You buy this pass, and then you can actually exercise at several clubs. Then functional fitness, the next trend number 7. This was one of the top trends in the American College of Sports Trends. Wearables, personal training, yoga, Pilates, outdoor and boot camp, and functional fitness. What you do with the EMS is functional fitness too, because you're training muscles that you use on an everyday basis that are important for your everyday activities. Then there's CrossFit. There are over 1,000 CrossFit clubs in Europe now. This is a trend. People want to have high-intensity training, and this is very successful. Then Barry's Boot Camp. This is a concept we imported from the US. Again, hard, functional training. Then Orange Theory is a concept that actually combines treadmills with rowing equipment. And people are really enthusiastic about it. Then we've got the strongman mud races. Obviously, people feel bored by their work. They want to do something different on Saturdays, something that actually gives them a kick and stimulates adrenaline. And this is why they do park runs. Park run is free in England every Saturday in various English big cities. There are 500,000 people go running with friends, and this only actually works through an app, through the mobile phone. The problem is, of course, if people are in classical, conventional clubs without an appointment, without a PT serving me, and I have to determine when I go, what time I go, that people attend very few times. This is the statistics. On the left-hand side, this is people who go or exercise less than once a week. So 42% stand the chance of leaving their club. The more often people come, if they actually train 5 times a week, then the risk is low that they will actually leave their club, only 10%. The more frequently you actually go and train, the higher the loyalty. In the past, you wanted to sell memberships and you didn't care whether they came or not because it was cheaper if they didn't show up. But we have changed our attitude now. The more often they come, the more successful they are and the longer they will actually stay tuned, so to speak. And here you can see some of these concepts making sure that people aren't bored and find an attractive atmosphere. Gymbox, SoulCycle, Body Street, EMS, and High Five. This is also a different concept that involves people more. This brings me to my last trend. Under Armour, you probably know this. It's a small company. I see lots of Under Armour garments here. Now they introduce shoes, and Under Armour bought MyFitnessPal, and they also bought Endomondo. This means they have basically bought a community with many, many people around the world, and they communicate with these guys about fitness. And they now have over 120 million users or consumers connected. Adidas bought Runtastic, and Fitness First actually joined forces with New Move for a digital portal. This is the Mile Group, again in the US, Mile High Running Club, or Mile High Run Club actually. You do classes with treadmill and outdoor activities. So you can see there's a strong segmentation, fragmentation on the market, and combination of many, many disciplines. This is the mud running activity where people on Saturdays are anything but bored. This is Tough Mudder. Tough Mudder. It is different. And this is my conclusion. In the center, in the middle, this is the traditional fitness clubs. And then in the next line, we've got the stationary fitness people. And around that, we've got the fitness aggregators such as Gympass or ClassPass, so much more. The novelty races, outdoor fitness, weight loss programming, all of these wearable devices, Apple, whatever, then the fitness apps and the online gyms. This is all a menace. This is a challenge for our traditional fitness clubs because trainees want to see something different. They want to have fun. They no longer want to do the old traditional thing. So everything is getting more complicated. There's so many digital influences, the mobile phone, and the classical fitness sector has to react to these challenges. Well, how am I doing for time? Well, I'm almost done. That's good. To conclude, I have 6 recommendations for the future for our industry. First of all, it's all about people. If we do not improve the quality of our staff, we won't have motivated staff. We won't have staff that understands our trainees. We might as well stop. It all starts with the entrepreneur that needs to be motivated and have a vision for the future. And the staff should actually share this vision. This is the first prerequisite. Second prerequisite. Be customer-centric. Always focus on the customer and give the customer what he or she wants. And this is why data is so important, because every trainee is different. So you have to look after each trainee in a different manner. Thirdly, we have to find new target groups. We have a penetration rate of 12% in Germany, so 80% are not interested in our sector yet. So how can we actually get a part of these 80 million people interested, or the 80% interested? Maybe people who are handicapped, why not? But in a different way than juniors, seniors, people aged 65 plus. We have to offer them something different. Then there are Muslim people who don't want to train with women, millennials, and there are the fun seekers. There's so many people we're not aptly addressing yet in our industry. Then, fourth, create a real customer journey. People want to be entertained. They want something different. They really want a customer journey, not only within the four walls of the fitness club. Very often, people go to the fitness club once, but what do they do for the rest of the week? We should make sure that they're also motivated by us outside the fitness club through apps or communication outside of the four walls. Fifth, innovation. We had a wonderful speech by the founder of TomTom, the navigation system, because they have sports watches now. And he said every 3 weeks we have an update of our software. We have something new to offer every 3 weeks. How often do we offer something new in our industry in order to motivate our trainees, your trainees, constantly? Of course, you have to get the numbers right, the maths right. If this doesn't work out, you're done. So get solid funding and actually bigger revenue than spendings. And the last point is the Japanese and the term Kaizen. And Kaizen means continuous improvement, like a sportsman. If I do the 100 meters in 10 seconds, then I want to do it in 9.9. So I always constantly have to improve and therefore set a higher benchmark. And Kando is the Japanese word for the wow factor. I know of a club in London, and they have something different every week. Maybe it's a shoe shine in the dressing room, or when they're wet through snow or rain. Then the other day, there is an artist. A nutritionist. They have a nutritionist. This is the right word, says the speaker. So all of the things that you wouldn't expect. And the last sentence for today: if you don't have fun, you're not going to sustain. So work hard and have fun. And if you don't have fun doing what you do, you can't work hard. And the last bit: don't worry about the competition. Don't worry about Fitness First and McFit and all of the others. Focus on your own business, on your own trainees, on your own staff, and then you'll be even more successful. Thank you for your attention.